Hello students, today we will continue our third chapter of history with the remaining part of the chapter. So let's start the chapter. First we will read about the masjid. A mosque is called a masjid in Arabic language, which means is a place where Muslims pray to Allah. It means Muslims read their prayer, namaz together here, and the member of congregation choose the most respected learned male as their leader. That leader is called Imam for their ritual prayers, and he also delivers the sermon. Sermons means khutbah during the Friday prayer. During prayer, Muslims stand facing Mecca. Mecca means Makkah. In India, this is to the west. It means this direction is called Qibla. It means west is the direction in which the Muslims facing when during their prayer to Allah. That time Delhi Sultans built many mosques in Delhi and the other part of the subcontinent, and these mosques demonstrated their claim to be protector of Islam and Muslims. And these mosques also helped to create the sense of community of believers who shared a belief system and a code of conduct. It was necessary to reinforce their idea of community because Muslims came from a variety of background. So they construct several mosques in cities and the subcontinent to show their power. Now we will read about a closer look. It means we are going to read about the administration and consolidation under the Khiljis and Tughlaq dynasties. The consolidation of a kingdom as vast as the Delhi Sultanate needed reliable governors and administrators. It means अपने किंगडम को कंसोलिडेट करने के लिए, उसको एक्सपेंड करने के लिए इन सुल्तान्स को रिलायबल गवर्नर्स की, फेथफुल गवर्नर्स की नीड थी अपने एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन वर्क के लिए. सो दे अपॉइंट एरिस्टोक्रेट एंड लैंडेड चिफ्टेन्स एज गवर्नर, एंड द अर्ली दिल्ली सुल्तान्स स्पेशली इल्तुतमिश फेवर्ड देयर स्पेशल स्लेव्स परचेस्ड फॉर मिलिट्री सर्विसेज कॉल्ड बंदागन in the Persian language. They were carefully trained to man some of the most important political offices in the kingdom, since they were totally dependent upon their master. Master means Sultan, and the Sultan could trust and rely upon them. It means they were the faithful person of the Sultan. The Khilji and Tughlaq continued to use the Bandagan and also raised people of humble birth who were often their clients to high political positions. They were appointed as a general and governors. However, this also introduced an element of political instability. Client means होता है someone who is under the protection of another, a dependent or a hanger-on. Slaves and client were loyal to their master and patrons, but not to their heirs. न्यू सुल्तान्स हैड देयर ओन सर्वेंट्स. इट मीन्स जो भी न्यू सुल्तान्स अपॉइंट होता था उनके अपने सर्वेंट्स होते थे जो उनकी के लिए सर्व करते थे, उनके लिए वर्क करते थे. एज अ रिजल्ट द एसेशन ऑफ अ न्यू मोनार्क ऑफन सॉ कन्फ्लिक्ट बिटवीन द ओल्ड एंड द न्यू नोबेलिटी. इट मीन्स जो न्यू नोबल्स होते थे और जो ओल्ड नोबल्स होते थे, जब कोई भी रूलर चेंज हो जाता था तो उनके बीच में कन्फ्लिक्ट्स होने लगते थे. द पेस्ट्रोनेज ऑफ दीज हम्बल पीपल बाय द दिल्ली सुल्तान ऑल्सो सॉक्ड मैनी elites and the other authors of Persian. Tariq criticized the Delhi Sultans for appointing the low and base born to high offices. It means जो लो कास्ट में जो बॉर्न हुए थे पीपल, उनको हाई ऑफिसर के पोस्ट पर बनाने के लिए, अपॉइंट करने के लिए इन्हें दिल्ली सुल्तान्स को क्रिटिसाइज भी किया गया. The earlier sultans like Khilji and Tughlaq monarch appointed military commanders as governors of territories of varying sizes. It means अपने territories के size को varies करने के लिए, उन्हें बढ़ाने के लिए military commanders भी इन लोगों ने appoint किए. And these lands were also called इक्ता and their holder was called इक्तेदार और मुक्ति. It means ये जो land थी जिन्हें इन्होंने साइज में वराइंग किया, इन्हें इक्ता कहते थे, और जो इनके होल्डर्स होते थे, हेड होते थे, उन्हें इक्तेदार या फिर मुक्ति कहा जाता था. द ड्यूटी ऑफ मुक्तिज वॉज टू लीड मिलिट्री कैंपेन्स एंड मेंटेन लॉ एंड ऑर्डर इन द इक्ताज. इन एक्सचेंज फॉर देयर मिलिट्री सर्विसेज द मुक्तिज कलेक्टेड द रेवेन्यू ऑफ दीज असाइनमेंट एज सैलरी, एंड दे ऑल्सो पेड देयर सोल्जर्स फ्रॉम दीज रेवेन्यूज. Control over muktis was most effective if their office was not inheritable and if they were assigned iktas for a short period of time before being shifted. These harsh conditions of service were rigorously imposed during the reign of Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad Tughlaq. Accountants were appointed by the state to check the amount of revenue collected by the muktis. It means the amount of revenue which is collected from the muktis checked by the appointed accountants. Care was taken that the mukti collected only the taxes prescribed by the state and that he kept the required number of soldiers. It means जितनी soldiers की required होती थी उन्हीं soldiers को उन्हें रखने की सलाह दी जाती थी. So the Delhi Sultan brought the hinterland of the cities under their control. They forced the landed chieftains, the Samanta aristocrats and the rich landlords to accept their authority. It is important to remember that large part of subcontinent remained outside the control of Delhi Sultan. So it was very difficult to control distant provinces like Bengal from Delhi, and as soon after annexing southern India, the entire region became independent. Even the Gangetic plain, there was forested areas and the Sultan force could not penetrate. Local chieftains established their rule in these regions, small kingdoms. Sometimes rulers like Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad Tughlaq could force their control in these areas, but only for a short duration of time. The Mongols under Genghis Khan invaded Traxonia in northeast Iran in 1219 and the Delhi Sultan forced their onslaught soon after. Mongol attack on Delhi Sultanate increased during the reign of Alauddin Khilji and in the early year of Muhammad Tughlaq rule, and this forced the two rulers to mobilize a large standing army in Delhi, which posed a huge administrative challenge. So let's see the two sultan dealt with these challenges. It means now we are going to read about the administrative work and the changes which is done by these rulers like Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad Tughlaq during their reign. So let's start these changes, these administrative work of Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad Tughlaq, and we will also comparing their administrative work and their changes too. So let's start these works. Delhi was attacked twice in 1299 to 1300 and 1302 to 1303 as a defensive measure. Alauddin Khilji raised a large standing army, and the Sultan Muhammad Tughlaq was attacked in the early years. The Delhi Sultanate was attacked in the early years of Muhammad Tughlaq reign, and the Mongol army was defeated. And Muhammad Tughlaq was confident about the strength of his army and his resources to plan an attack on Traxonia, and he therefore raised a large standing army. Alauddin constructed a new garrison town named Siri for his soldiers, which is shown on map number 1. Rather than constructing a new garrison town, the oldest of 4 cities of Delhi was emptied of its residents and the soldiers garrisoned there. The residents of Delhi were sent to the new capital of Daulatabad in south. It means Muhammad Tughlaq changed the capital city. He sent the person of old city into the new city of Daulatabad. The next point is the soldiers had to be fed. This was done through the produce collected as tax from lands between the Ganga and Yamuna, and tax was fixed at 50% of the peasant's yield. It means a peasant who grow the crops gave the 50% of his crops to the Sultan. In Muhammad Tughlaq reign, produce from the same area was collected as a tax to feed the army, but to meet the expense of maintaining such a large number of soldiers, and Sultan levied additional taxes, and this coincided with the famine in the area. The soldiers in Alauddin Khilji's reign, the soldiers had to pay. Alauddin chose to pay his soldiers salaries in cash rather than ikta. It means उन्हें जमीन ना देके, उन्हें लैंड का कुछ पार्ट ना देके, अलाउद्दीन खिलजी ने अपने सोल्जर्स को सैलरी कैश में प्रोवाइड कराई, और soldiers would buy their supplies from the merchants in Delhi, and it was thus fair the merchants would raise their prices. To stop this, Alauddin controlled the prices of goods in Delhi, and prices were carefully surveyed by the officers, and merchants who did not sell at the prescribed rates were punished. But in the Muhammad Tughlaq administrative work also paid his salary. He also paid his soldiers cash salaries, but instead of controlling prices, he used a token currency. But this token currency was not fitted in that time, and this cheap currency could also be counterfeited easily. Alauddin Khilji administrative measures were quite successful, and the historians of his time praised his reign for its cheap prices and efficient supplies of goods in the market. He successfully withstood the threat of Mongol invasion. But Muhammad Tughlaq administrative measures were a failure. His campaign into Kashmir was a disaster. Then he gave up his plans to invade Trexonia and disbanded his large army. The shifting of people to Daulatabad was resented, and the rising of taxes and famine in the Ganga-Yamuna belt led to widespread rebellion, and finally the token currency had to be recalled. So these were the comparison between Alauddin Khilji and Muhammad Tughlaq administrative work. Now we will take a glance of Sultan in the 15th and 16th century. In table number 1, we have read about the Delhi Sultans, and notice after the Tughlaq, Sayyid and Lodi dynasty also ruled on Delhi and Agra until 1526. By then, Jaunpur, Bengal, Malwa, Gujarat, Rajasthan and the entire South India had independent rulers who established flourishing state and prosperous capitals, and this was also the period which saw the emergence of new ruling groups like the Afghans and the Rajputs. Some of the states established in this period were small but powerful and extremely well administered. Sher Shah Suri, who ruled on Delhi 1540 to 1545, started his career as a manager of small territory for his uncle in Bihar, and eventually challenged and defeated by the Mughal Emperor Humayun in 1530, 1540, 1555. Sher Shah captured Delhi and established his own dynasty, although the Sur dynasty ruled for only 15 years on Delhi Sultanate. It introduced an administration that borrowed elements from Alauddin Khilji and made them more efficient. Sher Shah Suri's administrative work was very effective, became model followed by the great Emperor Akbar, who when he consolidated the Mughal Empire. It means Sher Shah Suri was a effective person who did many work for his administrative work, and his in administration work was followed by Mughal Emperor Akbar, and he also encouraged his administrative work on the base which is based on the Sher Shah Suri administrative work. So our third chapter is complete here. So guys, listen this video carefully and understand the chapter 2. Thank you. Have a nice day.